Good morning. For the 11 of you that watched the first video and are wondering what's going on, what are we doing here? This is a follow-up video. Sorry for the delay between the first video and the second video. This one, I had family members that were sick, had to go out of town, take care of them. I'm back. We're gonna get this done. So, for those of you wondering what's going on, so listen, I'm just a dude with a garage, a couple of old sports cars, bunch of Harbor Freight nonsense tools and stuff, and I'm trying to make a homemade Lotus 7. For those of you who don't know what a Lotus 7 is, let's go over to the table here and I'll show you. Okay, this is a Lotus 7. So there's this guy named Ron Champion. He's from England. He wrote this book called Build Your Own Sports Car for as little as 250 pounds. Basically, the book just covers the entire welding of a chassis, where to source components. Obviously, it's off of European stuff, so we're going to make do with what we have here in the United States. Basically shows you how to build the car, complete chassis plans and everything. What I'm aiming for is something that looks similar to this, but has these clamshell fenders. And I'm trying to make a Series 1, which looks like this, which would have been from the, I believe, early 60s. Let's go in here and see when these things first started to appear. Looks like we've got articles from 1957 even. Okay, so late 50s to early 60s are the Series 1s. And what I'm going for is just this kind of raw, this exactly actually. So this is what I want. This is what I want to do. So just simple components, no roll bars, no fancy seats, nothing special. These things are so tiny, so crazy. Let me show you what I'm working with though. All right, we got to go behind the garage. So the first part I ever got for this was that. Oh. You guys are probably wondering, what in the world are you going to do with that? Well, if you look carefully, these fenders are roughly the same shape. If I cut them down here, if I make a cut, a radius here, so go back down to here, and then just cut right down there, all the way back to where it flattens out, that is the same shape of the clamshell fenders on the Lotus 7. I bought this thing for 200 bucks off a Facebook Marketplace. It's actually a Volkswagen dune buggy type thing. It's supposed to go on a Volkswagen chassis. There was a local guy here in Detroit that has this old Volkswagen dune buggy shop, and he had this thing listed, so I bought it for a couple $100. And you might be saying that's crazy. Well, to get these clamshell fenders from England, or even in the US, probably sourced from England, they're like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So I got 200 bucks in this, 100 bucks a fender. We're going to give that a shot. And that should tell you all about this build. So we're doing this on the cheap. That's the whole idea. Yeah, you could go out and buy all new sourced parts and basically build a Caterham or get a Caterham kit or something like that, but that's not what we're doing here. So, we're taking stuff like, not the skeleton. What am I looking at here? That welder. So I got welders, I got air compressors, I got some tools over there, I got stuff. Let me show you what else I got, what we're working with today. All right, so I got things, right? Wheels and tires. These are trailer tires, skinny, 12-inch, but 21 inches in total diameter. This is the same wheel they used on the first Lotus 7s, believe it or not. And these are cheap, man. I got like 4 of these for, I think, 120 bucks, 170 bucks off of Amazon. So we got wheels and tires. Now, what I spent this morning doing is struggling with how I'm gonna mount these to my rear axle. So, if you noticed in the first video, I said we're using go-kart parts. Well, I wasn't lying. So here's what we got. We have a 44-inch axle. Okay. we have this 44-inch axle, and it's stout. For those of you that are doubting the go-kart parts are going to work on this, trust me, it's stout.
Oh yes.
So what I had to do though is the wheel hub comes on this axle. This is 4x110, which is like Mazda. I think it's Mazda. I think Mazda uses that bolt pattern. Well, trailer tires or trailer wheels are 4x4. I could have found 4x110 wheels and done all that nonsense, but it's hard to find skinny, tall ones like this, and they're expensive. They're gonna be like 150 bucks per wheel. And then I got tires. I got 4 wheels and tires for 117 bucks. So that's what we're going with. So I spent another like 120 bucks on these. These are adapters. So I can go from 4x110 to 4x4 like that. This goes on the axle, this goes on the wheel, we're good to go. So I spent, oh, I don't know, my entire lifetime at Ace Hardware today finding the right hardware to adapt this, because of course the threads and everything are just really weird and wild, and I don't know, it was tough. So anyway, what we ended up with was I'm using this nylock nut that's got like a little, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got like a little crown on the bottom of it, almost like a what are they called, like a help me out, put it in the comments below what I'm trying to say. The dome shaped, like on a lug nut, whatever. Anyway, if I put that down in there where it's cupped, then I can drop one of these down in there and it threads through back into here. And now I've got a brand new hub assembly. So that was the first battle that I had to fight. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna try and get the hubs, adapters on the hub, get the hub mounted to the axle, because that is the linchpin and the key of this entire operation. Because I can't start welding a chassis till I know how wide the track is, how much space I have between the rear tires. Probably gonna go about 1/2 to 3/4 inch in from that, and that's gonna be the width of my chassis. I wanna have as wide a chassis as I can. I ain't thin. I'm 6'4", like 240, so I need some space. So we're gonna try and maximize our space within this wheelbase. Now, what's interesting is this is a 44-inch axle, and I was looking at the original specs in one of those books over there, and it sounds like the original Lotus 7s had a 42-inch track. So we actually may be going a little bit wider, but I'm gonna stop the video here. We're gonna go to time lapse, so you don't have to watch me put all these nuts and bolts in. I'll show you what I got when we finish. So for those 11 of you, 10 of you still watching, rest assured there'll be more thrilling edge of your seat footage on this channel, such as the last 20 minutes of hand ratcheting. So yeah, make sure you tune in next week. Actually, I do have a electric, cordless, battery powered, whatever you want to call it, brand new in the box. Somewhere in there, I made the poor decision of not spending the 5 minutes to find it and use it, and spend the last 20 minutes hand ratcheting on all these nylock nuts, but that's done. So we have an axle with proper hubs for our wheels. So the next thing we're going to do is see proof of concept here and make sure our wheels bolt up. So I did previously fit the wheel to this adapter, so I'm 100% sure that works. Let's make sure we're putting the wheels on the right way. Where's the valve stem? Okay. Valve stem there. Good there. And luckily, these hub adapters. Oh, by the way, the 10 of you still watching probably already commented below. What I was looking for is acorn nut. And what's shocking about that is there's literally a, I don't know, 60-foot oak tree 10 feet away, literally hanging over my head right now, dropping acorns, and the tops of acorns, which is why they're called acorn nuts.
Nice.
Yeah, just couldn't think of it. So those of you that commented, good job. You're smart. I'm dumb. Let's get on with it. All right. Like I said, this is important because until we know the track width, I don't want to weld up a frame. I've already bought all the steel tube. There's a metal shop. You know, obviously, if any of you are familiar with the Detroit area, there's just fabrication and metal shops everywhere that do work for the big three. And I found a square tubing shop about 20 minutes north of me here in an industrial park that had cast off pieces of 1-inch square steel tubing, and I bought it for practically nothing. So you'll see that's going to be a theme and a trend on this channel, on this build, is we're trying to do this on a budget because, well, I got a wife, I got a daughter that just graduated college, I'm retired, I'm a retired firefighter, so my income is a little bit fixed there. Got a decent little pension, but you know, and my wife is retiring from education. She's been in education for 30 years. She's retiring next month, June. So we still want to travel and do stuff. So I can't be dumping, you know, $30,000-$40,000 into a Caterham or a Lotus 7 or anything like that. I mean, let's face it, these cars are toys, you know, glorified go-kart. Actually, mine is, you'll see, that's a spoiler alert there. This is basically going to be a glorified go-kart. I mean, I'm using go-kart parts, and I haven't decided on the engine yet. So there's two options. One is, and this was the first choice I had. Well, that ain't gonna work, is it? My first choice was gonna be a Predator 6, I think it's called a 670. It's a V-twin. I thought that would be cool. I mean, I think they're like 34 horsepower or something like that. They ain't cheap. They're about $700-800 from Harbor Freight. But I liked that it was a gas engine, made vroom vroom noises. I'd have to couple it with a CVT or a you know, torque converter type setup like you see on drift carts and, you know, ATVs and stuff like that. So we're looking like $1,000 in on that option, and you know, they don't sound great. Probably tune the exhaust, you know, put a little exhaust on it, maybe like mini motorcycle mufflers on or something, probably make it sound all right. But and you're dealing with stuff too, like carburetors and a gas tank and gas lines and maybe a fuel pump, you know, stuff like that. So lately what I've come around to is the idea of an electric motor. Everything's electric nowadays. I don't know about you guys, but gas, I just paid $7.01 for gas, premium. I think even regular is like $5.99 around here. I can get a 5,000 watt, 72 volt electric motor, which is an upgrade for most golf carts and is what a lot of people are putting in electric ATVs, drift carts, side-by-sides, converting to electric. So 5,000 watts, 72 volt. So if I run a 12 volt system, I would need 6 lithium ion 12-volt batteries. They're like about this big. They're like motorcycle battery size. 6 of those in a series, so I get maximum performance. Here's the thing. I can get that 5,000 watt motor with a speed controller and have reverse. That's the other thing with the Harbor Freight motor. I'd have to come up with reverse somehow. And I don't know if you've ever driven a car without reverse. I have. I had a big van, had no reverse. Boy, you got to plan ahead every parking lot, every time. It's just, no, don't want to do that again. So you get a speed controller that has reverse with this Amazon 5,000 watt 72 volt motor. It's $360, and 6 of the lithium ion batteries I think is going to run me about another $350, $360 for 6 of them, and I'm set. I already got the chain, the sprocket, the rear disc brake, and everything with this rear axle kit, which, by the way, I should tell you what that is. Got this rear axle kit off of Amazon. 44-inch rear axle, comes with the 2 hubs, chassis mount bearings, hydraulic rear disc brake with the caliper, the pad, and the actuator that goes up to your foot pedal, and the sprockets. It's like $140. Actually from Walmart, take it back, from Walmart online, $140. So for the entire rear axle, which we're looking at now with tires, and the chain, and the sprockets, and the brake, and everything, what are we in it for? We got, what did I say, 125, $130 on the tires, 180, or 140 for the, so 300 for the tires, and then another, I'll break it down. You'll be reading it right here. I can't do math right now. Okay, so here's what we got. Let me chalk this, and we're gonna measure, because we gotta know like 3/4 of an inch in here to 3/4 of an inch in here. That's our back chassis. My daughter, who's one of the 10 of you watching, my other daughter, not the one that just graduated, she doesn't watch, she doesn't care. My older daughter, who's 30, she bought me a new camera, which I'm not using, of course, still using my phone, and a really nice mic with the, the fur around it, so you don't get wind noise and stuff. It's not windy today, but I don't know how well you can hear me. So if this video just sounds terrible, rest assured I'll just subtitle it, and next video I'll use that. All right, so what do we got? So let me just go from tire to tire. Tire to tire is 38.5 exactly. What does a 1/2 inch in look like? I think that's fine. I mean, it's not gonna flex. The wheels aren't gonna move in and out. Oh, by the way, when I meant glorified golf cart, I really meant it. There's no rear suspension. There'll be front suspension, just so you don't get all kinds of weird steering bounce and stuff. But the rear suspension, we're going old school, tire pressure. So I'll probably run the tires a little bit softer so they squish. That'll be rear suspension. But rear suspension on a live axle in a golf cart or a go-kart is just, you're pivoting the entire rear chassis somewhere up here and the whole thing, and then your body's, nope, we ain't doing that. Okay, forgot my number already. I gotta write this down. So if we go a 1/2 inch in, so 38.5, so we can go 37.5. Let's see what the book says. Well, for a bigger guy, this might end up being the world's first single-seater Lotus 7. So their chassis width is 42. We ain't got that. I could run wheel spacers. I've got I've got a 1/2 inch of hub bolt sticking out.
Oh my.
So if we ran 1/2 inch spacers, that gives me another inch, right? Am I doing the math right? Comment below if my math is done. 38.5. So if I gain another inch with a 1/2 inch wheel spacer on each side, that's 39.5. Well, basically, I get 38.5, which would be better than 37.5 and gets me closer to 42. Okay, so we're gonna head up to O'Reilly. I just so happened to see up at my O'Reilly, they do have, I don't know if they're they've got multiple holes, so they'll fit. Oh, I don't know how big around they are though. I think they're small. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go up to O'Reilly, but we've figured it out, and that's what we're doing for this video. Is we're just figuring this part out, because next video I'm gonna start welding. Yay! We ain't got nothing. All right. Just let you guys know how I'm keeping the cost on this thing. If you saw that little picture on the first video, that's an entire front suspension with upper control arm, upper wishbone control arm, lower control arm, wishbone control arm, springs, shocks, hub, knuckle, brake rotor, brake discs, and the brake lines and the master cylinder. I want to say that whole setup is like 180 bucks. That's going to be our front suspension. I already got the tires. So as soon as we get the chassis made, which is next video, the next video after that is going to be front suspension, and this thing is going to be rolling around the yard here. And we'll discuss powertrain more. Let me know what you guys think in the comment, the 6 of you that are still watching. Put it in the comments below what you think. Electric's gonna give me a crap ton of torque, reverse, one moving part, quiet, and I can drive this thing in golf cart communities then. I don't live in a golf cart community, but I've got a cottage up on Lake Huron that is in a golf cart community. I could take this thing up there. It's gonna have headlights, it's gonna have seatbelt, turn signals, all that stuff. And I can drive it on the road up there. It's a little Victorian port town called Lexington that people drive golf carts around on the regular streets. There's a little downtown and stuff. So I'm thinking that's the way to go. If it's gas powered, I might get side-eye because nobody has gas powered golf carts anymore from local law enforcement. But if it's electric, I mean, officer, it's an electric golf cart motor. So anyway, all right, so this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. Next video will come much sooner, I promise. Those of you that aren't from the Detroit area or Michigan know that in May it's like 50 degrees, then it's 90, then it's 50, then it's 90. Well, we've had some nice days here, and it looks like it's finally turned around for us. So thanks for watching this one. I promise I'll dig out the electric ratchet so you won't have to suffer through that again. And we'll get some more exciting content. Once this chassis starts coming together and we got something to look at that looks like a car instead of just the back end of a car, it's gonna get exciting. All right, see you guys next video. Hey, that's the oak tree, by the way. Didn't want you guys to think I was lying to you. I ain't gonna lie to you on this channel. That's a big oak tree. Hey, just wanna mention too, help the algorithm out. You know, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. You know, I need you guys to tell me if I'm doing something stupid. I'm not a mechanic, not a fabricator. I monkey around with stuff. If I'm doing something that looks crazy to you, put it in the comments below. If you got a better idea of something I'm doing, put it in the comments below. Helps me out. Thanks a lot, guys.